أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in the Rasul of Allah, in the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a great example for us to follow. That he is the best role model that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to the world. And we saw that how the companions, when they followed in the footsteps of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they achieved so much height that it was unimaginable. And it still is unimaginable to this day. The companions, they understood that the Prophet ﷺ was not just someone who came and delivered the message, but he was essential, and he is essential to our faith. Without him, there is no faith. Without his example, there is no faith actually. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Holy Quran time and again, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, establish the prayer. But it doesn't tell us how to pray, how many rakahs there are, what time we should pray. All of that is in the example of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Holy Quran actually opines on this, and the Holy Quran explains to us that, Allah, it says that take whatever Rasul gives to you and hold back and withhold yourself from whatever the messenger has held unlawful for you. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is essential to all of this. وَمَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. To stay away from whatever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has commanded you to stay away. Companions, how closely they followed the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For instance, the Prophet of Allah, he loved pumpkins, and as a result, the companions, Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, one day someone saw him and picking these up from the curry that he had in front of him, and someone said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm picking these pieces up because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved them, and as a result, I am following in the footsteps of the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." But this Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that when he was on a journey once, and he stopped on his journey, and he dismounted, he came off from his horse, and he stayed somewhere for a while. And when people asked him why he's doing that, there was nothing there, and he said, "I was once traveling with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet of Allah, he stopped here, and that's why I'm stopping here for a while, just following in the footsteps of the Prophet of Allah." And actually, if Hajj and Umrah, Tawaf, any Tawaf, when we do the first 3 rounds, we are told to walk in a fast way, and have a brisk walk, and as if we are slightly jogging. Now, what's the logic behind it? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did like that. Why did he do that? When Muslims came to perform tawaf after a long time from Medina Munawwara, the people of Makkah started saying, "Look at Muslims, they look so weak, and they've been poorly in Medina Munawwara, they've been malnourished in Medina Munawwara." And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded the believers, commanded the Muslims to have a brisk walk, to show as if they're running. And subhanallah, it was just to show at that time to the unbelievers, but because it's a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it became part of our tawaf, that this is how we should do that. This is following in the footsteps of the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he one day kisses the black stone, and he says, "You are a black stone, you're Hajar Aswad, you cannot benefit anyone, but actually I'm only kissing you because my beloved, the Prophet of Allah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam kissed you." That's how the companions, how much they followed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet of Allah announced that the alcohol had become prohibited now, their companions who were actually in the middle of the drinking, having a drinking session, and they had held their glasses high, and they were just about to pour those glasses into their mouth, and they heard this announcement, and their companions, they say that we saw the sharab, we saw alcohol actually being thrown in the streets of Medina. Those believers didn't say, well, actually, I should just finish this off, or maybe I've got a container at home, I should finish that off, or I should sell it to others and make profit from it. No, as soon as they heard the announcement made by the Prophet ﷺ in following the footsteps of the Prophet, they didn't care about how much loss they were going to suffer. They didn't care about what impact it's going to have on their body and on their mental resilience. What they cared was that they need to follow وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, that they need to follow Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. And we believers need to reflect on this, that how many times in a day we disregard the message and the commandments of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, and we do not follow in the footsteps of the Prophet. Because if we do so, if we followed those footsteps, Allah guarantees us success in this world and in the next world as well.